Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Listen to Your Inner You. I'm Babs. I'm a manifesting coach or law of attraction. My website is listentoyourinneryou.com and you can book sessions there. You can right now just email me and we can talk about what time and day. So I offer 1 hour sessions and half-hour sessions for existing clients. Welcome and thank you for watching. Today's subject is old energy. Old story, the purge, detox, whatever you want to call it, whatever you've heard someone else call it. I call it old energy. So that's what I will refer to it as. Anyways, what is old energy? Every time you change a story or a belief, and by the way, stories are caused by beliefs. So every time you change either one, you will go through a period of time where it looks like you went backwards. And you're like, what the fuck happened? I've been doing my affirmations, right? So this is when you do your affirmations or visualizations or whatever you're doing to do focus work. When you do your focus work properly and it starts kicking in and you start seeing some progress and suddenly it feels like you're going backwards, that is old energy / purge / detox / old story. And you have to go through because this is your subconscious clearing out that old shit. You want to take it out, right? So it's kind of necessary to go through it, and sometimes it passes really quickly. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks. For example, for core beliefs, it takes quite a while. Core beliefs are so old and so ingrained in your subconscious, you just have to go through it for a little longer than regular beliefs. And everything we push out in daily life, that is a belief. I have a belief video coming up. But everything in your life is being pushed out through existing stories or beliefs that you have in place. And again, beliefs cause stories, so that's why you usually want to find what belief is causing all these stories. If you constantly are changing these stories and nothing is happening, then you probably have a belief that is causing these stories and it keeps coming up with more. And the longer you have a negative belief in place, the uglier it'll push out. It just tends to do that from my experience and other LOA coaches' experience. So it's probably a collective belief. And I'm not going to sit here and try to change it. I'm just going to accept it and go through the motions, right? But old energy, it sucks. But it also is proof that you did it right. Celebrate it, even though you feel like shit, right? Because when you go through old energy, it feels like, what the fuck is happening? Why am I going backwards? I did all my affirmations. I know I'm doing it right? I kind of think I'm doing it right. But why is it going backwards? Well, because you did it right. You're doing it right. So when you start, and this is where I say you're getting triggered, when you start to get triggered, that is old energy also. So the first step is always changing the belief or the story. Then you have a little bit of time in between where you kind of see the results that you're going to get. It's like, oh my God, it worked, right? And then it goes back to shit. And then it feels like you just straight up went backwards and it looks like you're getting the opposite of what you were affirming for or focusing on. That is great. That is the best thing ever. That's what you want because that is your proof that you did it right. It feels awful. Old energy, depending on what the belief is, how old it is, the older the belief, the rougher it can get in the old energy. It'll be straight up opposite. It'll be the opposite of what you were affirming or focusing on, right? And it's good because it just is repeating the old story or the purge or detox, just like when you're doing an actual detox. There's a lady that brought this up on YouTube and I loved it. When you're doing an actual physical detox, you take pills or you drink something, you're going to start breaking out. You're going to sleep like crap and you have all these side effects, right? That is pretty much exactly what it is. All that shit is clearing out. You want it out. I always say to my clients, imagine you're cleaning out this room that you're wanting to get ready for something. And this room has a bunch of furniture. So you take it out and it looks good. And then you start dusting with a broom. You start getting it out and the dust swirls up and it's all over the place. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm trying to clean this room and all this shit keeps getting whirled up. Well, you have to get the dust out one by one and a little bit more and a little bit more. And that's pretty much old energy or the purge. So you're doing this. And when you're in the old energy, this is what I do. First off, when this happens, when this shit happens, I'm like, oh shit, this is old energy. Okay, great. I did it right. I sit there and remind myself that this is old energy because if I don't know that I'm an old energy and this shit is happening and I'm not doing my affirmations, you're going to sit there in old energy for a while. So you want to realize that you are in old energy and tell your conscious mind, I'm an old energy. I'm being triggered. This is good. This is normal. I feel like shit, obviously, But this is great because I did it right. This is my proof. I did it right. Okay, this is old energy. So every time I get triggered, it depends on how often I get triggered. If because there are days when I will get triggered like 24 hours a day unless I'm sleeping, but often usually when I go through some intense patterns that I'm changing, patterns or beliefs, then I actually dream about them because I'm processing these things in my dreams. So I don't sleep very well either, and I have the funkiest dreams, and I don't like it, but I appreciate it because it's clearing out, right? And the more I'm being triggered, I feel the more I can do my affirmations and actually get through it faster. That is my mindset. So I actually look for triggers. I don't avoid them ever because I want to get through this quickly, right? So I sit there, I remind myself, this is old energy, and then I go into my new affirmation. I will keep repeating whatever I have been focusing on or affirming for. That is what is now clearing out. I will do my affirmations for it even more. And everything that doesn't make me happy or anything that creates any thought that is unwanted. So triggers can be thoughts or external events. And anything that triggers me is anything that doesn't make me happy or produces good thoughts. Anything that produces unwanted thoughts, bad thoughts, annoyance, anything that doesn't make you happy or feel good, that is a trigger, and that's when I will do my affirmations. And depending on how triggered I am, I will sit there and say, this is old energy, and then I will do my affirmations. And at some point, you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You will start getting more good events. You will start getting more good days and less bad days. But then sometimes you will get some good days and then you get really intense bad days. That can happen. I get that a lot. But if that happens when I start getting some good days and then some intense days, I know I'm approaching the end of the old energy, because once the old energy is gone, then you get what you want. That is how it works for me. Usually when I'm at the end, after the old energy clears out, then I usually get what I want for all these patterns and beliefs that I've changed. And I get the things pushed out from other people. I'm like, yes, I'm done. Hooray. So anyway, you're going through the old energy. I want you to sit there and realize this is old energy. And you know what? It is okay to be triggered. There are other people that say, don't be triggered by it. But I can't help but be triggered by it. But it's the old story, right? It's repeating this is shit. It feels awful. So I cry, I get angry, I react to it. I fully react to it while I'm reminding myself this is old energy, and while I'm doing my affirmations. I do not suppress my emotions because they got to clear out. That's the trash too. You're taking this trash out because all this trash from these crappy beliefs that we have, you have all these emotions build up and it's got to come out. So let these emotions out. It's okay to feel this shit. You want to feel shit. It's good to feel shitty because you're clearing it out. And the more you do your affirmations through the old energy and the more you clear this out, the less eventually you will feel triggered by it. That is how it works. Eventually, you will actually stop being triggered. The more you do your affirmations and stick to the affirmations, the new story and the new belief, the less you will feel upset about the same events that upset you a week or 2 weeks ago. It is amazing. It's really interesting. There are some other coaches that say, don't react to it, but I can't not react to it. And why shouldn't I react to it? It's there. It's in my reality. It's already here. Might as well let it out. And just realize this is old energy. I want you to realize consciously that this is old energy. Tell yourself, this is old energy. Remind yourself, this is old energy. I've got this. I did it right. This is my proof. And then do your affirmations. You don't have to do it every time you're triggered, because if there's a day when you're triggered nonstop all day, then it's a lot to say. And then I just do my affirmations. But when it starts slowing down a little bit on these days and it comes up and I'm being triggered, I go, no, this is old energy. Because what I'm doing is I'm pulling myself out of that thought that is being created. Because a lot of times, most of the time, actually, I'm being triggered by my own thoughts that come up from something that happened or didn't happen, right? He didn't text me. He didn't call me. Oh my God, the world is at the end. So my mind is pretty good at producing these triggers on its own. I don't actually need external events. So you don't ever have to be worried about triggers. They will find you. It could be on TV. It could be in your reality. It could be anything. But most of the time for me, it's my own thoughts, because I spend a lot of time at home alone. We're in a pandemic, right? So it could be your thoughts. Anything could trigger you. The leaf falling off the tree wrong could trigger you. It's the most ridiculous stuff that triggers you, but it's triggers. So sit there and go, this is old energy. This is all it is, because you're pulling yourself away from the thought that was starting to develop. And thoughts create emotions, not the other way around. Thoughts create emotions at all times. So I go, no, this is old energy. I'm stopping that thought in its track. I'm like, no, I don't want to think that. I don't want to be upset. And if I'm upset, I let it out. And then I go into my new affirmations. No, this is what I want, blah, 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 whatever I've been affirming for, right? So that's how I do it with the core beliefs. Any belief, any story, this is my process. I remind myself that this is old energy. I remind myself this is old energy. I remind myself this is old energy. And then I do my affirmations. The most important thing is that when you're being triggered, you want to do these affirmations, because if you're not doing that, it'll take a long time to get through it. It just does. That's how I've encountered it. Again, you can do it instead of affirming. You can do visualizations. You can apply gratitude. I love that I'm already done with this pattern. Whatever it is, right? I love that I'm worthy. Integrate gratitude or meditation or visualization, however you want to process this. A lot of times I do self-talk. I love self-talk where I'm sitting there, I'm like, no, I know I'm deserving. Let's take the core beliefs. I know I'm deserving. This is bullshit. I argue with myself. I scream at myself. I know I'm deserving. Whatever you want to do to get through this old energy, do it. But you got to do the new affirmations, right? It doesn't matter if you're integrating the affirmations with visualization or other focus work or meditation. It doesn't matter. It's just focus work. You're applying focus work. You are applying focus work. That's all you're doing. Affirm, affirm, affirm. That's the only time when I will tell you to affirm as much as needed. But do it when you're triggered, not more than that. Only when you're triggered. You don't have to sit there all day and do the triggering your subconscious. You want the subconscious to trigger you, and then you react back and say your affirmations. You don't have to trigger subconscious once it starts triggering you. It does that on its own. Don't worry about it. So again, you want to remind yourself that this is old energy. You did it right. This is your proof. Then you do your affirmations. And also what I do so that I don't perpetuate that story of being in the old energy, I start saying at some point that I'm already done with this. I'm already done with this. This is great. I love that I'm already done with this pattern. Oh my God, I'm done with the old energy. I love that I'm already done with the old energy. I'm already done with the old energy. Just so you don't sit there and keep saying, oh my God, I'm in old energy. I'm in this pattern. I'm working through this pattern. Because the longer you say that, that's an affirmation. The longer you will be in old energy. So start integrating that affirmation. So again, beliefs cause stories. You always want to find the belief that causes these stories. If something keeps repeating, some stories keep repeating and they're not being changed or converted. And you're like, what the hell? Why are all these negative stories still happening? You got to find the belief. And then when you change a belief, or the story, you go through a little bit of a time when it pushes up positively or neutral, and then you go into old energy. And old energy is triggers, and you got to clear it out. And this is your best proof that you did it right. Old energy is the proof you did it right, and you've taken out the trash, including emotions that come up, any clarity, meaning things you remember, grief, any events that have happened in the past, and you're remembering it and you're letting these emotions. Let out all your emotions. I'm telling you, feel whatever you feel. It's not going to ruin anything. It's good because this is taking out the trash. It's taking out the dust. You're dusting the room out. You're clearing it out. Get rid of this shit. You want all of it gone. Remind yourself you're in old energy. Do your affirmations that caused you to go into old energy. And just watch it fade away. It literally starts fading away, and eventually you won't react to it anymore. Even if you're reacting to it heavily, I'm giving you permission to react to it because that's how I go through it. And it still works. I'm really good at this. I give you permission to feel however you feel and let it all out. I want you to feel however you feel and let it all out. All of it. Go through it. You're taking out the trash, the dust. You're cleaning out that room. You're cleaning out your closet, whatever you want to call it. You're detoxing, you're purging, you're going through this shit and taking this out. So remind yourself that you're in old energy when you're being triggered. Then do your affirmations and add the affirmation that you're already done with it so you don't prolong it any longer. That's all I wanted to talk about. If you're in old energy, you did it right. You kind of know, the more you do this, you know when you're in old energy and you start seeing how you actually work through it because we all have our little way of working through it. And for me, it starts really kind of annoying, easy. And then it gets really intense. And then it gets to the point where I get some good days. And then it gets intense. And then I get more good days. And then sometimes the bad days are worse. They feel worse because I had the good days. But the more I get that, the more I know I'm almost done with it. And then it starts fading and you start reacting less and less. You get a lot less triggers. Then when you're triggered, it's a lot less intense, and eventually it stops, and then old energy stops. And then you get events where you go, oh shit, this just happened. And a week ago, I would have been upset, but right now I'm not reacting. That's when you know you're done with old energy. And you're now in the new belief or the new story, and you're like, oh my God, this is great. I love this. Perfect. This is your chance to realize and trust in yourself. You did it right. You're not reacting to it anymore. You did perfectly fine. You've got this. Good luck.